Hello there, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a new release from the house of Hasan Oud. And we've been getting a few requests of recently to review this particular fragrance. And I thought, okay, let's go ahead and review it because I've had it for some time now. And I thought, let's go ahead and actually test it out and, let you know how this fragrance is. So basically, if you're somebody who is new to the brand of Hasan Oud, now Hasan Oud is an Indian brand and they do have a lot of athars, fragrance oils like, golden oud and amber oud and so forth. They do also have a lot of fragrances as well, like, if you think about vetiver, this kind of seaside forest and a green version of Aventus as well. They're pretty nice. But what's so different about this new release when you compare it with the other fragrances? The primary element that you would see new is that this is going to be a 100 ml release, whereas the other fragrances that they've had are primarily a 50 ml variant, right? Now, if you are looking to get this particular fragrance, and I'm talking about the Khayal from the house of Hasan Oud, this is the newest launch that they have. And if you're thinking to get this, and if there are some questions that are running in your mind specifically, is this twist of some particular fragrance or a dupe of some fragrance? What is the performance of this one? What is the scent profile like? What is the lasting? And is it value for money? And in that case, then you're looking at the right type of video, because I'm going to answer all of these questions to you in the process of this particular video, where I will tell you about the performance, the scent profile, the price, the value to money ratio, all of it, and if you should consider getting this fragrance. And most importantly, I will also tell you whether this is a dupe or a clone of any particular fragrance as such, right? So let's get into this review without further ado. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney, and let's get going right after this intro. Alright, welcome back, and today we are talking about Khayal from the house of Hasan Oud, okay, and this is a made in India product, and it will tell you that it is, a long lasting, and this is not tested on animals, all of those information. And at the back you do have a little bit of the regular standardized product information that you would see. All of that is covered, and this is a 100 ml, fragrance. And if you open up the box, you will typically find the bottle looking like this. But in my case, I've tore open the butter paper already. So I do have the bottle, and the bottle is beautiful like this. It is light bluish in color, and if you look up close, you will also find some particles on it as well, some floating particles to talk to you about the molecules that are there in the fragrance. And at the bottom you do have the packing information, okay. And overall, this is a good looking bottle which has this beautiful tinge of teal blue color, and to give you that vibe of beautiful sea aquatic type of a vibe. And that's the idea behind it, I suppose, to go with the colors of teal blue and of course the golden cap and the atomizers and all of that, right? Now this does have a very nice pressurized atomizer as well, so let me show you. If you can see it, it kind of sprays out very, very nicely. And that's the beauty of this scent, that the moment you put it on, you do kind of feel very refreshed about the scent profile that is there, and you kind of like the scent profile as well. Now this is a very zesty, citrusy kind of a scent, and if I were to talk to you about the notes of this one, it is mentioned here, right here. So let me read out the notes, and you might also think about these notes, and you might have the question as to what if this is a clone of some fragrance, so to say, right? So the notes are citron, orange, bergamot, neroli, ginger, cinnamon, tea, ambroxan, gac wood, and olibanum. Now if you are familiar to the fragrance industry, then you do know that the citron, orange, cinnamon, tea combination already kind of should give you a clue about what this fragrance might sound like, and could be an interest point for a lot of people to understand should you consider getting this, right? So obviously, right at the top, you do get that lovely, beautiful, zesty, citrusy, orange vibe that you would want in a fragrance, a very refreshing touch. That is something that you will straight away kind of get it, okay? And that's the first thing that you will notice. You will notice a light amount of sweetness as well. So definitely there is that little bit of that fresh, sweet vibe that you kind of get as well, right? And after that, the story kind of changes in this fragrance, because after about 10-15 minutes of that top note remaining there with that citrusy vibe, it starts to change and gets into a more woodier, I would say more woodier, powdery type of a nuance. In fact, I would say more than the woody nuance, it goes into a more muskier approach. That's the right word to use. A lot of musk and a lot of powdery vibe, and it almost feels like a very soapy detergent kind of a nuance that you would find in a lot of fragrance. The beauty of that is because it is more powdery and musky, it kind of feels very satisfying, so to say. So the scent profile is very mass pleasing, very safe, so to say, and can definitely give you a lot of compliments and something that is very safe that you can wear to a lot of places where you do not want to get noticed for the wrong fragrance, so to say. So that way Khayal does hit all of those cues and points right there. Now the scent profile I told you is citrusy, orange, and a little bit of that slight sweetness coming from the cinnamon type of a vibe. And as I said, it goes into a little bit more of the woody nuance, powdery, musky nuance. It does feel at the very opening that it's a imagination, LV's imagination kind of a DNA. Okay, but this is not a clone or an of any sort. This, in fact, I feel is a twist on that kind of a DNA, but this DNA changes a lot towards that. Now, if you look at the typical, alternates of the LV imagination, they are mostly talking about how juicy the citrus notes are and goes into a lot of the tea note as well. Whereas here, though the tea note is definitely mentioned, but like I said, it takes a different accord altogether because of that powderiness and muskiness. So it kind of almost feels like you are wearing a fragrance which is more detergent orient, but a lot lesser on tones in terms of those citruses, but a lot more towards the muskier and powdery approach, which is very, very refreshingly nice. Now, the other element is the performance of this one as well. So the performance point of view, this I feel does about 2 to 2.5 feet of projection, okay, and that happens for about good 45 minutes to 50 minutes, almost an hour in some cases. You do get very nice projection, so to say, and after that it starts to soften down a little bit and a little linear in my approach as well. But surprisingly, one good thing is it does last pretty well. Okay, so that's another thing about this, which is a plus point on this one. It does last easily about 7-8 hours, which is typically a full day's performance is something that you should get comfortably. On your apparels, you will in fact notice it even beyond 10 hours as well. That is something that I have been able to observe. Now, like I said, as it goes down after the first hour, it kind of starts to settle down a little bit. So from that point of view, it doesn't really project out loud, so to say. Because it is softer in its nature, it does last well, and that is good for somebody who's looking to carry a scent for office wear, indoor occasions, office wear, that kind of a scent profile. This one is perfectly fine, and you will absolutely kind of like it because of its nice muskier powdery approach. Now, typically, this is retailing for about 2,999 rupees for the 100 ml. But currently, they do have a launch offer, I'm guessing, for which this is at about 1,999 rupees for a 100 ml juice that you get. And surprisingly, there are no sharpness, there is no alcohol blast as such. The only con side that I would like talk about is that I wish it kind of projected a little bit more louder, but then because of the muskier and powdery nature, probably that's the reason why it does a little softer on the projection, but it makes it up in terms of lasting because it kind of gives you almost a full days of lasting easily, right? So that's the scent profile point of view. So yes, so it's an inspiration, or it's a DNA that's taken a twist on the Louis Vuitton's imagination for sure, okay, but it's gone a completely different approach. It's more powdery, more muskier, and more likely less sweeter than the other inspirations that are there in the market. Okay, now definitely this is a good fragrance to consider for people who are looking to wear at a 100 ml. You would want at a 2,000 rupees price point, let's say you would looking at a 100 ml version of a fragrance that's fresh, that smells good, does get your compliments, and can be worn to office. Ticks all of those boxes as well, right? So that's what I thought about Khayal from the house of Hasan Oud, and they do have fantastic fragrances on their website, the hasanoud.in and .com, because I think they do also have global worldwide shipping as well. So overall, pretty nice product from the house of Hasan Oud, pretty good. Very nice box packing, completely different to the typical white boxes that they would traditionally do. So this has gone all out completely different, and you do get a sense of a very premium product in a good price point, so to say. So definitely check out Khayal from the house of Hasan Oud, and let me know what other fragrances you'd like to check out next. I'll see you on another video. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.